Hello, this is Nesz, and today I'm going to try to give you a short mage guide about the Glacial Spike build, like some kind of look and talent and how to use your procs and your spells and stuff like that. I know my interface looks shit, so please don't bother with it. It's just how I like to play. Okay, so let's jump straight in. First of all, the talents you can ignore PvP talents for now. Um, On the first 15 row, we always want to have Bone Chillin because it deals good damage, but Ice Nova you didn't need that for PvE, but Lonely Winter is pretty good. Oh god, we got Mage Nexus. Lonely Winter is good, but we need a pet. Like a pet has an extra freeze, or even called freeze, and we really need that. I'll explain that a bit later to you. Um, the 30 route really depends on you, like Shimmer or Ice Flows is the most taken. You can take Glacial Insulation if you want some armor, but I don't recommend it. Next we got 45 Incantus Flow or Rune Power. Like you can use Rune Power if you really know what you do, but if you don't and you have to move a lot, just use Incantus Flow. The next one, I'm going with Ebonball because it just provides the most damage. So that's basically it. Like you can use Frozen Touch or Chain Reaction if you play without Glacial Spike, but if you play with Glacial Spike, you definitely want to have Ebonball. Um, on the 75th row, you just want to go with Frigid Winds. Because it just slows everything down. Except you have the Sanguine effects. You definitely don't want this if you're playing Frost. Like most of the time, you switch to Fire anyways. But if you're playing Frost with Sanguine in Mythic Plus, you shouldn't have that because it just slows everything and make the other ads heal up. The 19th row is 90s is a bit tricky. It always depends what you want. Like if you're on single target playing Glacial Spike, like if you just have one enemy, you always want to play with Split and Ice because your icicles deal much more damage and Comet Storm is more for the AoE burst of damage. So you should always try to choose between these two. This one I don't recommend to play it because it's just not worth it. Um, the last, since we're just focusing on the glacial spike talent, we're just gonna lock that in and play with that one. Next we're just focusing on the spell book. Um, I think we should start with the passives because that explains a lot, like what we're going forward to. So first we have a shatter. Shatter is the most important passive you have. Multiplies the critical strike chance of your spells against frozen targets by 1.5 and adds an additional 50% critical strike chance. So it just deals so much more damage if your targets are frozen. That's what it's saying. You don't have to understand it completely, like if you don't want to, but all you have to know is if your target is frozen, you deal more damage to it. Then we have a mastery that just casting fastballs or flurry against you, an icicle, casting isolance, causes all icicles stored to be launched at the target, each deal blah 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 frost damage. Up to 5 icicles can be stored. Any excess icicles gained will be automatically launched, increases the damage of frozen orb. That's just your mastery. I think I shouldn't have read it all because you should know just it's your mastery. It stands here again. Um, I'm not that well geared. I don't play my mage that often, by the way. So, Fingers of Frost. That's one another important one. Fingers of Frost. Frostball has a 50% chance of frozen orb damage has a 10% to grant you charge your Fingers of Frost. Fingers of Frost causes your blah blah blah. You can read that yourself. I don't think I have to read that out. Um, what Fingers of Frost does? Um, like they deal damage if they are frozen. Your next Ice Lance. This is your Ice Lance cause the spell Ice Lance. They will deal damage as if the target is frozen. If we remember Shatter, if the target is frozen, it deals more damage. So the target is frozen, Ice Lance deals damage. So use that proc. Then we have Brain Freeze. Frostball has a 25% chance to empower your next flurry to be instant cast, deal 50% increased damage, apply Winter's Chill to the target. Winter's Chill causes the target to take damage from your spells as if it were frozen. I know I read it out again, but whatever. So, what you need to know, Flurry. Flurry becomes an instant cast. And it it's like you cast on the frozen target. So you have Flurry that so it's like the target is frozen and instant cast Flurry. So that you don't even have to bother reading reading the Flurry description. All you need to know is like the bottom stuff. It's like Flurry applies Winter's Chill, causing your target to take damage from your spells if it were frozen. So it's the same as it says in Brain Freeze. So the basic thing it says, like if you're using Flurry as an instant cast, it is like your enemy is frozen. So and Shatter again is it's frozen. Like it makes it frozen. Your next attack, the next attack you make, is like it is frozen. So I don't think I should go to every talent here since you should know them or read them all. I'm not gonna bother doing that. So like if we just go straight into it, if into our opening, like we don't care about AoE at the moment. So all we do is just Frostbolt. We already got our Brain Freeze. I'm not gonna use it right now. So we're gonna stack up till 5 until we have a Glacial Spike. So the problem we have now, we already have a problem. So what do we use now? Do we use Fingers of Frost, or do we use Brain Freeze? We want to use. They'll disappear. I'm gonna keep doing it again, so don't worry. So if we have, going back, Fingers of Frost, it is like the target is frozen. Oh, that worked fast. It is like the target is frozen. So if we have stacks of Fingers of Frost, we cast them immediately. There's no doubt, or like not. There's no reason in not doing it. You should do it before you use the Brain Freeze proc. So Fingers of Frost, all you need to know about Fingers of Frost, cast it as soon as it's up. You get that from your Ice Nova as well, from the Frozen Orb, sorry. So just cast them. They deal a lot of damage. Pretend the target is frozen, it's not, but it pretends it is. So next, we'll wait for a Brain Freeze here. Notice, I'm not gonna cast Glacial Spike before I have no Brain Freeze. There's my Brain Freeze, and now I just want to cast my Glacial Spike, hits the Flurry before it hits the dummy. The Flurry should hit the dummy before your Glacial Spike does. The reason for that, again, Brain Freeze. It pretends your target is frozen because of your Flurry. Your instant cast Flurry makes your target like it's frozen. So, if we remember Shatter, it just deals much more damage to frozen targets. So, a Glacial Spike, if we cast a Glacial Spike with Flurry against a frozen target, it just deals massive more damage. We can compare that, I think. I'm not sure if you can see that. Oh, hold on. Okay, we got no Brain Freeze right now. I'm just gonna cast it. So all we have right now is 47k. Should get higher now, if not, I'm gonna cry. Oh, let's get Brain Freeze. Oh, there it is. Okay. You wanna lose that proc? Alright, and go for it. I'm gonna read that. Fuck off. Whatever, it dealt more damage. I'm gonna watch it in slow-mo again. It dealt more damage. I know it dealt more damage. So, the reason why you want to lose your Fingers of Frost cast before your Brain Freeze is because you just lose your proc. Like if you use your Brain Freeze like this, and then again, Glacial Spike already freezes your target, so you lose it. Like, you should use it before you use your Brain Freeze or your Glacial Spike, always. Because, like I said, Fingers of Frost, the target is frozen, so you can cast a normal Ice Lance against frozen target. But because of Brain Freeze, it's already frozen, so you don't need the Fingers of Frost proc. So, if we go into Glacial Spike, so now we have a Flurry, like a Brain Freeze, cast it, and after that you want a normal Ice Lance because your target is still frozen from Glacial Spike, and you have your Shatter. Your Shatter is against frozen targets, you deal more damage. So all you do is build up till you have Brain Freeze. You don't even want to use your Glacial Spike. If you have five icicles and you can cast Glacial Spike, but you have no Brain Freeze, don't use Glacial Spike because it's just not worth it. So we're gonna lose our Fingers of Frost. Now we're going to go for our Glacial Spike, and I was slow. You should do that a bit faster, of course, and then Ice Lance after. Same thing. I'm going to use Ebon Bolt right now. Ebon Bolt. You see that Brain Freeze proc right here? It it just procs immediately if you cast Ebon Bolt, granting you Brain Freeze. It says in the description. So you should always cast it, Ebon Bolt, spam your Flurry button, because then your Brain Freeze will hit before Ebon Bolt. Makes it frozen again, deals 1.5 more damage, Ice Lance after, and damage done. So, because we sometimes can't wait for in ad fights, like there are some ads we want a Glacial Spike, oh we don't have Brain Freeze, but we can still go with other freeze effects. We have our ad can freeze, so Glacial Spike again, even though we have Brain Freeze, we shouldn't do that if we have Brain Freeze, but we can freeze the enemy with our freeze. This dummy is immune, but it actually works. So, and there are other effects that are stronger against frozen targets. You shouldn't do that for frost bolts. I recommend you to use Brain Freeze. If you have Brain Freeze after the first frost bolt you do, so if you cast the second one, you can use your Brain Freeze. But if you are about to cast your third one and you have Brain Freeze, don't use it for Frostbolt. Like now, don't use it. Wait until you have enough to cast Glacial Spike. Go for your damage rotation again. Flurry spam. Now you can't deny. You just can't do anything against having Fingers of Frost, but you shouldn't. Like you sometimes go, so don't bother using it. But like if you can use it without Fingers of Frost, just do it. I hope I'm not gonna explain it too complicated for you. So that's basically it. I don't think I'll get it here. So now is the time over. You have 2 icicles. Don't use Brain Freeze until you have Glacial Spike ready. But I've Ebon Bolt ready. Oh, I failed. I failed hardly on that. Sorry, guys. Whatever. Just spam your Flurry. So it hits. Flurry is faster than Ebon Bolt. Ebon Bolt and Glacial Spike are very slow. Like you cast them, but they fly very slow. That's why Flurry is faster, so it hits first, freezes it, and gone. So, the next one, you don't want to use Comet Storm right on this, just for no reason. Like, you know you want to AoE, but Comet Storm deals like 20k damage. Where is it moving? Whatever. But Shatter again. deals more damage to frozen targets. So all you want to do is freeze your targets the easiest way. There are two ways to do it. Whether you just jump in, like you have shimmer, you have whatever you have, or you next to the target. You whether freeze it with the frost nova, or you use freeze again. I mostly do it for freeze because I don't want to stand next to any kind of app. So freeze it, comet storm, good to go, more damage. Before it just, I think it showed about 4k damage, now it did 6k. So this is all you have to know. So remember, freeze the target, do your spells, make sure you use brain freeze correctly, fingers of frost. If there are any more questions, just hit me up. I'm trying to help you as good as I can. And yeah, peace out.